this is the kind of play that gets me fired up in pass coverage. This is what gets me pumped because he is sticky. I mean, it's like, this is like a fly on a fly trap. He's just stuck to him. He's stuck to his man in the slot there. Hello, good people. Packers fans, football fans, and random internet viewers who are at least a little bit curious about how football is played at the pro and college level. My name is Tim Noonan. I have been a fan of scouting college football players for about the last 8 years and a Packers fan for the last 20 years. Today, I'll be showing off some of the strengths of Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker from Texas A&M University, who was selected by the Packers in the second round of this year's NFL Draft. If you like the video, please take a second to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so that you know the next time I'm on here talking about professional or college football. Without further ado, let's get into what to expect from this breakdown of Edgerrin Cooper. The first trait that we'll be looking at is his athleticism and strength. He's got functional strength to take on intermediately powerful blockers, as well as some blockers who I would consider pretty strong. And he also has good athleticism, good speed in the straight line, and he has good agility to move from left to right, to kind of be shifty in short area bursts. So we'll look at that on film. The second thing that we're looking at is his ability to read and react to plays. Now, as a middle linebacker, this is hugely important. I think he shows great football intelligence. He shows preparation, whether he's reading and reacting to plays where there's a few different decisions that could be made and he makes the right call and he does it well, or whether it's a play where there's just one decision to be made and he just throttles down and reacts. He does well in both situations, and I'm excited to take a look at both of those things. Third trait that we're looking at is pass coverage. This is another area where I think he fits really well with the Packers. I think he has some strengths that would transfer to a lot of different teams' defenses, but especially for the Packers defense that wants to be physical, that wants to create tight windows for like short periods of time. And you can tell that he understands the zone defense he's running in. He understands when he's running man that he is on an island. And he uses his athleticism well, and he's got good technique to make the most of that athleticism and pass coverage. He's got some plays that we'll look at that are kind of head scratchers and show some room for growth, but overall, I think he's a plus player in pass coverage. And finally, we'll look at a couple of areas of growth for him. The first one is in the pass rush. They used him a lot more than I would have liked to have seen him used at Texas A&M in the pass rush. And the fact that he was used so much it means it's something to take a look at. And the second trait that I want to see him improve on is his leverage to attack players more with lower pad level. We'll get into why that's important. So let's get into his athleticism and strength. First play here, we're looking at edge over the middle of the field against LSU in 2023. He's lined up right over the center, and they're just going to have this little swing play go out here. And you see him, he's the one who makes the tackle there in real time. Watch that one more time in real time. So takes on a blocker, gets out there quickly, makes this tackle. And you just see his ability first to have the strength to stand up against this blocker, get his arms extended, get off of that block, and then have the athleticism to just run in a straight line where the offensive player is going. Just really good play from a strength standpoint, balance standpoint, and a speed standpoint. And he finishes it off with a nice little hit. That's a good one. All right. Another play against LSU in this same game. Down in the red zone, just another good pursuit play. So we'll just watch this one in real time. Just makes a beeline for where his man is going to be. And besides the athleticism on display here, because I think that speaks for itself, he's just running in a straight line, gets to where his man is, nice clean tackle out of bounds. What really impresses me here, besides the athleticism, is the pursuit angle that he takes. And he took a good pursuit angle on the last play as well, but he knows where his man is going to be. He knows how fast that offensive player is. He knows kind of where the play is going and how his teammates are affecting that, and just gets to that spot well. So besides the athleticism, you see that preparation on display. Next play where we're looking at his athleticism here is just on a nice little shoestring tackle. And this, kind of like the first play, has a mix of some power and speed, and on this one, a little bit of short area quickness. So first thing we're looking at here is when he comes down over the middle of the field, there's a blocker who is responsible for walling him off, and he just cuts right inside that blocker. Nice quickness there. And when the blocker makes contact on him, it really doesn't faze him. It doesn't look like he's been touched at all. Just great job to absorb that contact and then have the agility and the flexibility to turn around, make this shoestring tackle on Jace McClellan, a great athlete at running back. Next play against Bama here in 2023. We just see a nice little assisted sack. He has the athleticism while he's spying on Jalen Milroe to throttle down, get there in a quick amount of time. And one thing that in particular that I'm looking at is when you see Milroe decide to rush here right about now, there is all this open field to the left side. And edge is really the only thing in between Jalen Milroe and a first down here. Now, this number 26 that's bearing down on Milroe helps a lot because Milroe can't do any like left to right, can't try to juke Edgerrin out or anything. So that definitely helps. But that said, edge still has to be there to assist on the tackle, to cut off a running lane, and he's the last line of defense there between a first down, and I think he does well. Next trait that we're looking at here is his ability to read and react. We're going to start with some run plays where there's a few different decisions to be made. He makes the right call, kind of tightens lanes up. And then we're going to go to some plays where he's throttling down once there's really just one decision to be made. And there's a lot of great plays there. We're going to see some sacks. It's going to be fun. And I also have one play in there that shows, he's still got some room to grow in this area. He's not perfect, but overall, a lot to work with here. So we'll get into it. First play here is against Bama in 22. There's a lot of plays against Bama in this video. He made a lot of great plays, and Alabama is a good team to watch him against because there's so much NFL talent. So what we're seeing here is he's just sifting through the offensive line and finding how to get to his assignment, his gap in the run game. And takes on a blocker, has some of that power that we talked about earlier, occupies that blocker, and his man's able to come in right behind him and clean up. This is just a gap sound play. He is filling the gap that he's supposed to on defense so that the man behind him can come and clean up that tackle. And just a great play. This is something that his head coach, DJ Durkin, or not his head coach, his defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin, wanted him to improve from 2022 to 2023. But even in 22, you see, he has the ability to go in to take on offensive linemen and not go for his play, not go for his tackle, but just go for what is in the best interest of the defense. Next play we're looking at is from Miami. Very similar kind of play here. This is against Miami in 2023. He just gets in and tightens up the running lane. Doesn't let the offensive lineman in front of him progress down the field very far. And that forces the running back to make a little cut back here. So running back has to change direction, and that gives the rest of the team time enough to come here for this gang tackle. And obviously, Coop is not the only one doing the right thing on this play. Like, this defense is playing really gap sound across the board. And when everybody's playing that well, it definitely helps make the guy you're looking at look that much better. But Coop is doing his job, and he's got a good little stack and shed move. So stack and shed is when he extends his arms here, takes on that blocker, stacks him, and then sheds the blocker, kind of throws him out of the way so that he can go and try to make a tackle on the play. So it's a good read and react. It's a good stack and shed. And overall from A&M, just a great team play. Next read and react play we're looking at here is against Alabama in 2023. So what I like about this play is first, it's 3rd and 23, so the defense is in a great situation. Might not seem like the best play to look at. You don't come across a lot of third and 23s. What I like about this play is Coop shows the ability to, really, he's expecting pass here. Who wouldn't expect pass? Alabama has 4 receivers out right now. They are in 3rd and 23. It's there's 7:25 left in the game, and Alabama is only up a touchdown. So as talented as Alabama is, they still want to rack some more points up on this game. The whole defense here expects pass. Defense has 2 safeties deep, and Cooper is right there on the line of scrimmage. This is shaping up to be just a pass play here. And Alabama pulls a fast one, just runs the ball. And this could have been a dire situation if Coop doesn't read this, because the cornerback over here on the top of your screen here, right behind the SEC logo, is that's the only other guy on that side of the field that can really make a play besides Cooper. Like, there is a lot of open field over there. So Coop takes on this blocker, doesn't affect him. Nice wrap-up tackle. Just tremendous ability to read this play, because you can see right out of the play, he's diving straight back. His first 3 steps here are straight back to the middle of the field to cover a zone. And he has to flip his hips, but he's also just keeping his eyes up in the backfield as he's dropping back so he can read and react. If Coop doesn't make this play, you can see all the green grass behind him. You can see Alabama's blockers, number 52, number 57, number 65 at the bottom, big J.C. Latham, who was drafted by the Titans in the 1st round. Could have been a hellish play on 3rd down. Instead, Coop makes a play. This is a really great tackle. It's a really great read. Love this play. All right, last read and react play here. Very simple. Gets around one offensive lineman, just dives straight onto the running back of LSU on a 1st and 10 to force a tough 2nd and 10. This is a play where LSU is just trying to get some yards. Coop sidesteps the offensive lineman, knows where the play is going, blows it up at the line of scrimmage. Just great finish. All right, next thing we're looking at here is his ability to throttle down when he's reading and reacting, and there really is just one decision to be made. So he is responsible for this side of the field again. You see good things happen when he is responsible for an entire side of the field a lot of the time. And this is a fun play, obviously, just to get it started, because you see the only decision he has to make is, how do I prevent Jaden Daniels, number 3 overall pick to the Washington Commanders? How do I prevent Jaden Daniels from getting out to this field? And he, just executes a great tackle, great read, forces a fumble. This is a scoop and score touchdown, which is just cherry on top. So that's a nice little play. All right, this play, LSU 2022. This was a year and a half ago for Edge Cooper. You see, this could be an area of growth. Sometimes he does react to things that aren't there, or he makes a call that's not the best. And so this is just an example of that. You see him over the middle of the field. And again, he's a spy. We've seen him have success in this role. But right here, for a reason I'm not quite sure of, he dives into the middle to try and go for a sack when he's 5-6 yards away from Jaden Daniels, and there's all this field to the left of Daniels. As the spy, the defense is depending on Edgerrin Cooper not to allow this to happen. And it's just a tough play. You would like to see Edgerrin just remain at this depth, remain, on the line of scrimmage or 2 or 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, and just make Daniels throw the ball so that, you have your chance for a secondary defender to make a play, or just stay back there and let your defensive linemen keep working. Let them try to make a play. But this aggression, while I like the decisiveness, and I kind of see where he's coming from, because there is a gap that opens up for a split second in the offensive line where it just looks like a straight line run. But even if he triggers there, even if he gets through the line, Daniels is already moving. This was going to be a 1st down from the moment that Edgerrin decided to make this decision. So you just want to see a little bit more restraint from that. But we will finish up with a play from a year later against LSU. Just a nice throttle, nice read and react. He's just bearing down, and I think he was sent on a blitz here, but he does read through where to run against these blockers. They're all taken on. LSU is overwhelmed, so just nice. It's a nice closeout. There's not a ton to learn from this play. This was just a fun one I wanted to throw in there. Next trait we are looking at is his ability in pass coverage, which I think is overall a strength. So just to start, going to get a sense of his ability to read while also showing good technique. So he's in the slot here against a tight end, and does a good job of making contact with him and getting into what's called trail technique. Trail is just when a defender who is covering the pass puts himself between the quarterback and the receiver. So the idea here is just to create a tight window while covering this guy. You don't have to be perfect. It allows for error, and it forces the quarterback and receiver to make a good play if the trail technique is played well. And I think he gets into it well here. His hips turn well. And what I like about this play also is he's keeping his eyes in the backfield. So while he's making contact, boom, eyes are up. He's looking at the quarterback. And so just as he's about to turn his hips and run with the tight end, he does see the throw get made. And so he's able to react and put himself in position where if this receiver can stay on his feet, he's at least up and aware, and he can make a play on it. Next pass coverage rep is an earlier rep from 2022. He is responsible for man coverage here against Jahmyr Gibbs. And Texas A&M liked running man coverage a lot. They trusted their athletes to cover. And I see why. They have a lot of good athletes on this defense. So this, I think, is really great coverage and just an unfortunately better play from Jalen Milroe and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is a top-tier talent at running back. He's a great athlete, a lot of fun to watch, and he runs a nice little route here to create some space. But what I like from Edgerrin Cooper on this play, is he is keeping himself in position to where his hips are facing the quarterback so he can bear down on a pass, and he's keeping himself as well as he can on the outside of Gibbs so that he can funnel everything back to the middle of the field where he has help for either coverage or tackling. And he gets his hand in there. Just a really great pass, a really great catch, solid coverage. If we get this from Edge on Sundays, I'll take it. Force those tight windows, force these guys to make a play. Now, this play against Miami, this is the kind of play that gets me fired up in pass coverage. This is what gets me pumped because he is sticky. I mean, it's like this is like a fly on a fly trap. He's just stuck to him. He's stuck to his man in the slot there. This play starts off with the assignments all being thrown off. So looks like originally Edge was responsible for this running back number 21, and the defensive back on the hash here is responsible for the tight end, who Edge ends up picking up. So great play here from Edgerrin to communicate and then just turn his hips and run. Great trail technique here. If this pass was thrown to the tight end, he's forcing a very tough window for that quarterback and tight end. This is something that if we get this in Green Bay, I'm taking it. Like, I'm taking this every time. I love this play. It's a simple thing, but man, dude, it's hard to find a linebacker who's going to do this consistently. It's really exciting when you see it. In the same Miami game, he had some, we'll call them faux pas. So for the entirety of this game, this number 7 for Miami, Restrepo, has been just torching A&M. He upped his level of play to another level here. And so it's not a surprise that by the fourth quarter, 13 minutes left in the game, they're going to Restrepo when they need a third down. So Edge here should be aware of that threat. And he should be aware his team is in cover 3. That's what it looks like. He's not playing man. He's got a defensive back at the top of the screen who's bailing, which means he is responsible for this guy. Now, the safety over the top of him, also responsible for this guy. But what Edge's role is here is to make contact with the receiver and bother the route so that the timing of the play is thrown off. And you can just see that receiver is not bothered. So if Edge is gonna play with those soft hands, then he's got to follow that receiver out. There is no one else in the area. The running back is off to the right side of the field. Both of the tight ends have vacated at the bottom of the screen. This is his only assignment that's going to be here, and he just doesn't land it. Doesn't land that contact. Gives up a big third down play. You can put this on the safety, and there's criticism to be had for the safety play on this too. But we're not watching the safety. We're watching edge, and we want to see him make a play here. Next play, also in zone coverage. Just looks like he's seeing a ghost here on a pump fake. And this doesn't end up costing him. His teammate's man ends up making a big play here. But when this pump fake comes, I don't know what edge is doing. These are all blockers in front of the quarterback. There's just the receiver in front of him, so just stick to him. But this is in 2023. This is his most recent season, so you would like to see something like this get cleaned up at the next level. Finishing up here with a couple just really good sticky man coverage reps. Just sticks to his tight end here, makes good contact, and just bothers this route. If this was one of the first options here, which it might have been because Milroe's head is that way, edge took that away, and Milroe's got to make a play with his legs here. Second angle of this play, you get to see edge over the top here. Boom, just absorbs all that contact, creates some weird timing for that offense. And from the quarterback's perspective, this is what the quarterback is looking at on trail technique. He sees that maroon jersey, that Texas A&M maroon jersey completely covering up his man, and that just doesn't feel like an option. This is great trail technique. This is what we're seeing on a few of these earlier plays. Man coverage, Edgerrin Cooper is useful, to say the least. Another sticky man coverage rep here. Third quarter, game tied. This is an important situation. 2nd and 9. They're in the red zone. So let's see what he does. Almost a carbon copy of the last play. Tight end runs into him, bothers the timing. Tight end's not open. They're fighting. And it looks like the tight end does end up getting some separation here. You could see that. Hard to tell where that separation came because this is also where the ball was released, so edge is starting to look back and bail, but it does look like the tight end got some space there. But even with that space being created, edge has thrown off the timing, and so that's a plus play. It's not as impressive as the last play for sure, but definitely shows he's covering his assignments well in the pass. The last couple of traits that we're going to be looking at with Edge Cooper here are his ability to rush the passer and his leverage, both of which I think are areas of growth for him. So just to start off, simple play here. We have him on a delayed blitz. He is just coming in hot and just doesn't bother this play as much as you would like to see. Texas A&M liked to rush him. They liked to throw him on the edge sometimes. And sometimes it was in very crucial situations, like we'll see in the next play that we'll look at. But in the pass rush here, just not a great rep, and he has a lot of reps that look similar against offensive linemen. And this last rep here that we're looking at, he is, again, on a delayed blitz. This is in the 4th quarter of a game against LSU in 2023. There's 6 minutes left on the clock. This is a 2nd and 6. LSU is up 5 points. They send Edgerrin Cooper on a delayed blitz, and his assignment is out wide. So what I would like to see here is him hold down this pocket here. He just doesn't quite get there. And what he does is he just tries to make a hero ball play, and he tries to bend around the edge, which this just means, getting around an offensive lineman, bending low like you see, putting his shoulder into the lineman. And usually what a really effective edge rusher gets to do is back that offensive lineman back, or just get all the way around him and make a play on the quarterback. Edgerrin is not a plus pass rusher, and so this offensive lineman just carries him out of the play, and that opens up this entire side of the field for Daniels, and LSU gets a back-breaking 3rd down conversion here. And this, frankly, this one is on edge. You would just want to see him be a little bit more disciplined here, especially in a big game situation. So This does kind of call back to that one read and react play earlier where he wants to make a play so badly, and you love that, you love that attitude, you love that approach, and he clearly comes to it with a lot of preparation, a lot of effort. There's a lot of savvy in his game. This was just not a good play. It's one rep, so it's nothing to be blown out of proportion, but this, from a technical standpoint, from a decision-making standpoint, this was just a rep that I would have liked to have seen a lot better from him on this play. Last area of his game that I just want to see him clean up a little bit is his leverage. Sometimes he comes into taking on blockers a little bit high, and then he gets washed out of plays. So earlier, we saw him tighten up running lanes and stack and shed, and this play ends up being okay. The offense doesn't get a great gain here. But you see Edge does get washed out of this one. He's kind of a non-factor in this play. What I do like at the end of this play here is he's still fighting to shed this blocker, and he does. So if this play is still going, he would have shed this blocker and would have had a chance here to make a play possibly. But I think at this point he was just out of position. And I think he's trying to keep his leverage high so he can keep his eyes up, because he does have really active eyes in all aspects of his game. We saw it in his pass coverage. We saw it in his read and react. So I think he wants to keep his eyes up, but you cannot sacrifice leverage for your eyes, because all you're going to do is see that play go by. Last example here against LSU. Gets washed out of a play with lower leverage, and this is against a tight end. So this is a guy who we have seen he has the athleticism and the strength to take these guys on. So it's not just him getting overpowered here. It's his feet aren't quite set, and he gets washed out of this play with high leverage. So it's not a great rep. The offense makes a good play here. And part of what throws Edge here is Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, makes a nice little fake to the outside. And so when he's pressing to the outside, Edgerrin Cooper wants to cover the outside, except he has a man behind him who is responsible for that outer edge. And so Edgerrin Cooper should be staying on the inside shoulder of this tight end. He should be staying low, pressing this run lane, and instead, leverage-wise, read-wise, just gets washed out of this play. So, the read could be better, the leverage could be better. I'm focusing on the leverage here because we've just seen he has so many good read plays that I just want to see that leverage get better at the next level. All of that taken together, the Packers have a really solid linebacker prospect. We have a plus athlete. We have somebody who clearly shows a lot of preparation in his game. We have a guy with the great ability to read, and we have a guy who hopefully is coachable. I think he is. The defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin. Earlier I mentioned that Durkin, the defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin, mentioned that in 22, Edgerrin liked to run around blockers. And I saw a little bit of that, but I do think he still took on plenty of blockers in 2022. But Durkin noted that in 2023, in that offseason between those two, Durkin told Edgerrin, like, hey, you have to take on blockers. You have to get more physical. You can't run around guys. And Durkin said that Edgerrin took that on well, and he improved that area of his game. And from the film we watched, there's a lot of good reps that show that. So though I have concerns about Edgerrin's pass rushing and his leverage sometimes, I do trust that his ability to prepare and his commitment to getting better are both going to make him better in those areas. So once again, if you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell so that you know the next time I'm on here talking about professional or college football. And thank you for your time. I'll see you next time.